Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 376. Today we're going to look at the difference between frightening, frightful, and frightened. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. If someone or something is frightening, it causes others to feel fear, or causes someone to feel fear. It's a little similar to, other ones that we covered before, like bored and boring, where if somebody is boring, they cause other people to be bored. But if you're bored, it means you feel bored. So this was very similar, the difference between frightening and frightened. All right, let's continue here. Let's look at the first examples. So example number one, that scene from this horror movie was too frightening for small children. So it caused small children to have fear. So it was frightening for the children. Okay, good. Or number two here, it is frightening to think of the position we would be in if he lost his job. So maybe this might cause this family to have some fear. Maybe the father thought that he might be downsized and they might be out of an income. That could put fear into the family. So that would be very frightening. It could be a frightening situation in that sense. Okay, good. Now let's take a look at frightened here. Frightened means someone feels fear or shows fear. So the fear on their face, or they feel fear, especially suddenly. Okay, so let's look at the first one. That frightened child hugged her mother because she was afraid of a dog. So the small child is showing fear. She hugged her child and she hugged her mother. Oh, please, please. So she is showing fear. So in that case, we say that she is frightened. Or number two, my dog was frightened by the sound of thunder. Yeah, I've seen some dogs get scared about thunder before. So of course the dog feels fear. So the dog is frightened. All right, now here with the X, this is where some students might mess up, especially students of ESL. They might confuse the difference between frightened and frightening. So let's look at this first example here. Many frightening passengers screamed when the plane experienced strong turbulence. Now, of course, this is wrong. That's why we have an X here. If you say the passengers are frightening, it means that the passengers are scary. They're scaring other people. They're causing others to have fear. So, of course, with the check, you should be saying this one. Many frightened passengers. Yeah, they feel fear, so they are frightened. Many frightened passengers scream when the plane experienced some strong turbulence. So this is exactly how we use it. This would probably be one of the most common mistakes that students might make if they mix these two up. All right, now let's look at frightful. Frightful is a more formal, higher level educated word and tends to be more literary and more often used in British English. All right, so remember, if I say it's higher level, it means that the more educated you are, the more likely you might use this more often. All right, people of lower education, you don't hear them saying frightful very often. Tends to be more literary too, which means you're more likely to see it written in books than just spoken directly out of your mouth. Probably, yeah, you probably don't hear children use it. Although children, out of all these words, children might use a word like scary more. And they might use frightened, but scary would probably be even more common for, children. All right, let's continue. So frightful also has a broader use. It can be used to mean horror, or feeling horror, or experiencing horror. It could be used for that. And that way, it has similarities to both frightening and frightened. But it could also simply mean, extreme in degree. In that case, that's really not like frightening or frightened. Okay. Or it could mean feeling anxiety or stress too. All right, so let's take a look at the first example. They were in a frightful hurry. All right, now this doesn't mean they're not in a scared or afraid. They're not afraid in the hurry. It probably just means like extreme in degree. They were in a very serious hurry. So they were in a frightful hurry. So here's a use where frightful is used in a different way. The weather outside is frightful. I remember this from a Christmas song, too. We often may hear this. It might mean more like causing anxiety or stress. Could it mean scary? Possibly, if it's really, really bad. But it's probably mean causing more stress or anxiety because it's difficult to go through. Or the murder scene was quite frightful. Now, this is more like causing horror or feeling horror. Many bodies were discovered cut into pieces. Yeah, so that's experiencing horror. So we might use it that way too. Okay, anyway, I hope you got a better feel and know when you might use one in which place rather than the other. Anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.